Anyone who tells you to not sweat the small stuff is full of crap. Hey everybody, this is Matt and we're at Texas Toast Guitars. Thanks for watching. Today we're going to do a video about aiming small and missing small. Now that's a concept that was around well before the Mel Gibson movie, but the notion is that if your target is big and you miss the target, then you miss. If you're aiming at a small point on said target and you miss that small point, guess what? You still hit the big target, okay? So I don't talk a lot about firearms on my channel, but some of you guys might know that I have a history, and the aiming small and missing small was a big deal for us back in the day, and it is to this day too for guys who do competitive shooting. In any case, how does that apply to guitar building? I'm glad you asked. In my experience, everybody who comes out to workshops here at Texas Toast Guitars, and by the way, I would love it if you came out to one of the workshops too. Everyone who comes out to the workshop can't see the level of detail that they need to be able to see all the time. Well, some of that is because our eyes are old. Mine are 52 years old, and I can't see, sometimes my arms aren't quite long enough to see stuff in the level of detail that they need to be. There are ways around that, but even if you have very, very young eyes, there's stuff that you can see through a magnifier that you just can't see without. So I want to talk about these StewMac OptiVisors one more time, and then give you guys some examples of what the benefits of these guys are. And there's a link in the description below. You can get a set of these from StewMac. Like I said, link in the description, and it takes you through our affiliate profile thingy, whatever. Anyway, get you one of these, all right? Okay, so Leo Fender wore one of these, and what, you think you're better than Leo Fender? You should get one of these too. All right, so the advantage of the OptiVisor, oh, and by the way, thank you to my friend Doc Siltonen, who got 8 of these for the shop. Mine has been marked so that you guys don't steal it. But we've got more of these. Chris has a set, and we've got a set for everybody who comes out to the workshop so they can see in great detail. All right? And the ability to see in great detail is something that you absolutely, positively want to have for certain jobs. Now, some of those jobs like bandsaw and pin router, as long as you can see the line, you're okay. But some of the steps that I'm going to show you in today's video, like scraping, binding, and fretwork, you really, really want to be able to see in fine detail. So having the ability to flip this guy down and see with your magnified eye what your naked eye can't see is a fantastic thing. Now, how does that apply to aiming small, missing small? Well, you can imagine that if you do a good job with this visor down and it looks good magnified, it's going to look great to the naked eye. If with the visor down you do a great job, it's going to look phenomenal with the naked eye. And that is what you want for stuff like binding and fretwork. Yeah, I'm sure you can think of lots of other reasons or lots of other tests where you'd want to have magnified vision. But today we're going to focus on, like I say, binding, particularly scraping binding, as well as doing some fret end work. Because if your binding looks good, your guitar looks good. If your frets look good and feel good, your guitar is awesome, and everyone will go, wow, this is really nice. Cool? So let's jump in and we'll do some work with the OptiVisor. Again, thanks to my buddy Doc, who supplied the shop with these. And if you come out to one of our workshops, I'm going to be very adamant that you wear one of these while you're doing, if you're doing binding work with us, or if you're doing, and anybody who does fret work with us, I'm going to advise that you do this. In fact, in the last workshop, all the guys were like, I had no idea, I couldn't see. So anyway, having the OptiVisor is a great asset to doing fine detail work. Remember, if you do a great job with the OptiVisor, you pull back and look at it with the naked eye, and you're going to be amazed at how wonderful your job looks. All right, let's jump in and do a little bit of binding work, and then, like I said, let's do a little bit of fret. All right, scraping binding, as you can imagine, is a painstaking task and one that you have to get right. The other thing about it is, if you mess up, you can't exactly just touch up the paintwork. You have to get it right the first time. So Chris kind of made some of these little tools here. This is just a piece of dowel and a little teeny tiny bit of razor blade poking out the other end, and that's going to get that's going to give us set our depth for our binding. And this is reveal binding. This is wood binding, not plastic binding. I know what someone's going to say. That's not how that guy on the StuMac video did it. That's okay. There's lots of ways to do this. This is the way that I like to do it. And again, we're not here to talk about scraping binding. We're here to talk about aiming small, missing small. So you'll see I'm putting my reading glasses away, and I've got my loop on. And it allows me to really look at what I'm doing and get the best possible scrape job that I can. And what this tool does is it actually comes in and establishes the line first, and then you have to scrape the rest of it off, okay? Because reveal binding might have a little more radius to the edge than regular plastic binding, okay? So I'm going to let you guys see this here in a second, but it almost looks like it's 2-ply binding because there's a little bit of maple, and then there's a little bit of paint, and then there's a little bit more maple. I'm going to zoom in so you can see that. So you can probably see all along here, it almost looks like there's a, well, it doesn't look like, there's actually a little line of paint in there. Okay, so what I need to do now is scrape that little line of paint out. Okay, so I've established the thickness of my binding with this cool tool that Chris made, but now I need to go in by hand and remove the little paint line. And guys, this is where aiming small, missing small is going to be absolutely critical. I don't want to go in any further than that line that was made by the tool. I'm just removing the paint in the middle. And remember what I said, if you guys do this and it looks great with the loop on your head, it's going to look fantastic when you're just looking at it with your naked eye. Okay? So go slow, take your time, get it right, and your patience will be rewarded because your guitar is going to look like $1,000,000. Okay, so all I have to do now is go all the way around everything else. I realize my hand was probably blocking you, but the idea is that I can't see the detail that I need to see to do this the right way without this loop on my head. So I'm going to finish this up, and then I'm going to show you guys some fret work. Well, I think that looks pretty terrifical, you guys. And aren't you jealous of Mike Beckloff? This is a Challenger Level 4 carved top. He chose the standard TTG burst, which has looks like a 3-color. It's got a kind of a dark brown with a little bit of red and then amber on the middle, and man, it looks cool. He went with a P90 in the neck and a humbucker in the bridge because that's neat. And he also wanted reveal binding, and this maple top ain't bad neither. But the reveal binding I owe all to this little loop, just like Leo Fender used all the time. You ever wonder why you only saw him wear one of these? Because they're really handy, okay? Have I stressed that enough? All right, I'm going to put this away, and we're going to do a little bit of fret work, and then we're going to call it good. By the way, that guitar is ready for clear now. So you don't just scrape the binding and then go, okay, done. You scrape the reveal binding, all the paint off, and then you put clear on top of it and lock it in. Cool? All right. Let's move the camera and we'll do a little bit of fretwork. All right, this neck is ready for a little bit of fretwork. We've got the frets all pressed in, the frets are all glued in, and I've got the edge of the fretboard is, the edge of the frets is flush to the edge of the fretboard and the binding. The 30-degree angle is put on there, and what I basically made is a bunch of little teeny tiny chisels on the end. So the way that we take care of that is with this little file here, and not that one. Sometimes I'll even use this crowning file just to break the edge. I'm going to show you what I'm talking about here in a moment, but this is all fine detail work that my naked eye can't see because I'm 52 years old. I would be willing to bet you that even the most sighted of you will benefit from this loop because the job is very meticulous and you want to make everything be the same from fret to fret. You don't just want to go through and grind everything down. You want to grind everything down the same on every fret, and that's where you need to be able to see. Okay. All right, guys. Let's have a look. We're going to be working on the bass side here. Let's see if we can get the camera in here, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. So what I want to do is come in, and when I ground my edge of my frets flush with the fretboard and then put the angle in there, I left a little burr. And the first thing that I want to do is I want to just round that corner over. And being able to see it and feel it helps out a lot. Okay, then I'm going to do the other side the same. And I'm just going to break that edge. Then I'm going to come over and just kiss that edge where there's a burr from the file. You can also use this this crowning file, and it's kind of nice to just do it all in one stroke. So we went from having sharp and pointy to round and smoothy. That's a word, right? Let me see if I can get in here a little bit more. This takes time to do and to get right, but you can tell the difference. And if you have a pair of pantyhose, you can run them down here and see if you have any snags, like Phil McKnight does. All right, so there's only let's see, there's only 43 more of these to go. But like I said, it's going to be a little easier for me because I can see everything. So let's do one more here. Okay. Just being able to actually see what I'm doing makes life so much easier. And I don't know if you guys can see what I'm doing because you're watching the video, and I don't know if my hands are in the way, but I think you guys will get what I'm you'll get what I'm driving at here. Okay, that looks good. And the other thing is, remember what I was saying, if it looks good when you're under a magnifying glass, it's going to look really good to the naked eye. And of course, your fingers will be able to feel that. Okay? So I did these two guys here. Like I said, I've got all the rest to do. And I'm not going to burden you with watching me do that on the camera. One of the downsides to wearing one of these all day is you get like a ring in your head. But maybe that's why Leo Fender never took his off. But guys, I hope that you enjoyed today's video about being able to see, about aiming small, missing small, and doing a very, very good job on a microscopic, maybe not microscopic, but on a very, very fine detail level, and how much better your work looks just to the naked eye if you do that. So I'd like to thank Doc Siltonen who got these for us. I'd like to thank Stuart McDonald. Link in the description below if you want to get one of these loops. And if you don't want to get one of these after this, what I recommend that you do is come out to one of our workshops, learn to do reveal binding, learn to do frets, and I guarantee you, you're going to want one of these because you'll realize just how much you can't see until you start looking through through the magnified lenses. Guys, if you appreciate this kind of video, please click the subscribe button, click the like button. If you like the kind of stuff that we do, you might want to consider going over to our Patreon page and becoming a member. My ending thing is all jammed up. I haven't done a video in a while. If you can't do Patreon or join us on YouTube, no problem. But please like the video, share the video, and help us grow the channel any way that you can. Until next time, this is Matt at Texas Toast reminding you that if you're so smart, start your own YouTube channel. That's what I did. We'll see you next time, guys. Have a great week.